All right, this is important. Sex workers say defunding Pornhub puts their livelihoods at risk. Gentlemen, you know this is nothing about the sex workers. Uh, this is about the average guy watching. Of course, they turn around and they show a bunch of young women. Where are all the male performers? Is it only lesbian porn on Pornhub? Now, before we get any further, this is something you should know. As you can see, they say it's religiously motivated. The credit card block is the result of campaigning religiously motivated groups like Exodus Cry. Well, let's look at Exodus Cry. Wow, Exodus Cry starter page as all young women. What? There are no religious men. They don't go to the church. Oh, here, Exodus Cry aligns itself with many dedicated women's rights organizations. Okay, now we know what's going on. This is not a religious organization. This is a women's rights organization, or I should say it's a feminist organization that has infiltrated in a religious organization, taken over, and now the religion is used as a shield. It's always used as a shield. Because if these guys came out and said, we're a bunch of feminists against this, maybe something would be done about it, right? So we know what that's about. The real target of these groups is not to help victims or fight illegal content on the internet, but to ban all forms of adult material. There you go. They know what is going on, only they won't admit that it's feminist, as usual. Now back to the article. Credit card giants like Visa, MasterCard, and Discover have all blocked payments to Pornhub after the adult site was accused of being infested with child abuse and rape-related videos. First of all, rape-related videos are there because women want them. They have rape fantasies, right? But as for the child abuse, that's nonsense. I guarantee it's it's nonsense. And the reason why is Pornhub makes so much money, there's no way in hell it would throw itself under the bus by allowing someone to put child porn in there. But most of the people in Pornhub would be against it, for one thing, because they're normal people. And it's a guaranteed, it's not just a risk. Pornhub knows people are like these scumbags, these feminist scumbags are out to get them. So they would never allow it, even they would keep that batten down, that hatch. However, sex workers are saying that the sudden decision to put their livelihoods at risk will not solve the problem of illegal content. Well, these girls, they're going to be fine. These good-looking young women, they're going to be fine. At best, I think, or I should say at worst, they'll probably lose some income, but at the very least, they always have the out of shacking up with some guy. The out that guys don't have. Okay. Adult performer Mary Moody has started a campaign to raise awareness and the consequence for the performers like her. See, it's all about them. It's all about the performers. I mean, it's natural that they would care about their own, but they don't give a shit about Pornhub and the rights of people to watch porn. That's what this should be about. This should be about people having the rights to watch pornography. Pornography has never disappeared because people want it. I personally stand to lose thousands each month, but want to spotlight the many workers who will be losing income they rely on for survival. I doubt it. I doubt these women won't survive if they lose this income. They can get job as a waitress. They can still find work outside. They can still shack up. I mean, it is a giant loss if you're losing a bunch of money you're used to, but this happens to all kinds of people. And here's another thing. The only way we can make a difference is as if they hear our stories. I'm begging you to make your own video and share it. Don't let Visa, MasterCard, and Discover censor our voices. Now, they shouldn't be blaming Visa, MasterCard, and Discover. These credit card companies do not want to be smeared as, child porn, right? So they should be going after this religious group. I really love my job. I'm not a victim. Now a victim of Visa. No, this woman is a victim of this feminist group. And of course, they don't want to fight their fellow female, right? So of course they blame the card, the card companies. This is bullshit. And also, it doesn't matter about her saying I'm not a victim. These feminists are willing to sacrifice these few, as they call themselves, sex workers, for the greater evil of denying men pleasure. That's what it's about. Now, here's another thing, too, about the word sex workers. One of the guys pointed out, Kyria said, they're probably not really sex workers. They're call it, porn stars might be the better example. He said there are differences in his country legally between sex workers and people who work in porn. Sex workers are the actual women who go out in the street and sell their sex, to guys directly. In response, Pornhub made drastic changes. It banned downloads and deleted all videos except those uploaded by verified users. So the feminists are effective again. They won. So I don't want to hear all these losers coming out and scoffing at them. They have real, legitimate political clout. So I don't want to hear about whining. Do you hear all you YouTubers? I don't want to hear about whining. They're going to stop you from enjoying yourselves at Pornhub. That's what it is. Here's another thing. Many performers also use other adult platforms and subscription sites such as OnlyFans. So OnlyFans is considered an adult platform. It's not called a porn site. But I suspect, I haven't been on OnlyFans, but I suspect it's women just showing off their bodies and desperate young men or even older men putting money to them. I got news for you guys. Women are always on the sale, which is, there's nothing wrong with it as far as I'm concerned. But make no bones about this. It's about denying men pleasure, period. So these women can sell, and many men can give them their money, but at the same time, they have to stop us from enjoying ourselves. Oh, yes. Models who focus on Pornhub are out of a lot of income, and it's not as easy as it sounds to switch platforms and immediately make money. I believe that. But you know something? I can't feel an ounce of sorry for these girls. If they really want to stop this, they should be attacking these feminists instead of, blaming the card companies and going, woe is me. What do you want me to do about it? Who are they talking to? Sure, they're complaining, but who are they? These girls are not going to do any real activism. So it looks good on you. Swedish performer Cara Viga said, I've made $34,000. That's 25,000 pounds in Pornhub in December, which is not a lot. What? Oh my God. Oh my God. I would love to make 25,000 pounds in a month. This is pathetic. Cry me a river. I have nothing against these women making lots of money. Nothing. But at least do something and blame who's actually to blame. Jumping Jehoshaphat. Oh, here's another thing, guys. We didn't have time to prepare for it or set money aside to pay rent the next month or anything else like that, says Miss Vega. Miss Vega, just because you have a steady income doesn't mean you don't set money aside. I know it would have been good to have like a heads up for a couple months, but these women should have been setting money aside to begin with. I have a steady part-time job. I put money aside, especially because it's part-time. But even when I had full-time hours a few months ago due to COVID, I was putting money aside. So, I mean, this is a lot of people's problems anyway, to start with. It's like you can't go boo-hoo. I didn't put any money aside. I just blew all my money as it came. Come on. This is not the best way to argue your situation. Visa and MasterCard acted in a very irresponsible way, leaving people without income overnight. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. These companies do not want to and don't deserve to be smeared with pedo. So, of course, they did what they had to do. Why don't you ladies start fighting back? Start protesting in a real way. And that doesn't mean you put out a hashtag. Hashtags only work with Me Too when you're bashing men. They're no good against these femmes. In a statement on Twitter, Visa said, given the allegations of illegal activity, Visa is suspending Pornhub's acceptance privileges pending on the completion of our ongoing investigation. There you go. Look, Visa, why are you blaming Visa? It's doing the right thing. It's letting Pornhub clear itself, and then they can say, okay, we can back Pornhub again. Visa wants Pornhub to be working because it probably rakes in a lot of dough. So come on, why are you blaming Visa? Sex workers argue that the freeze won't affect abusers, criminals who uploaded illegal content, as only certified creators could sell videos. So what? It won't stop abusers. For one thing, that doesn't help out Visa. Visa froze this to protect themselves. MasterCard did the same thing. Why should Visa or MasterCard decide that a person can't spend their money on something that's completely legal? Because Visa and MasterCard don't want the pedo smear. It'll hurt their business. Why you keep blaming them? We know why you keep blaming them. I see this all the time. You blame someone else other than who you should blame. Why don't you ladies get up and say, these scumbag feminists, they're willing to throw us under the bus to stop men from having pleasure and have a sexual outlet. These scumbags want men coming on to women in real life for outlet, for a release. And of course, that opens up all kinds of abuse. A good chunk of men are deselected men. They're not going to get any. So they want them to suffer. And they also want to be able to jail them. Say, look, this guy's stalking this woman. This guy is harassing this woman. He put him in jail. Come on. Dudettes. Like grow some, well, you can't grow balls, but something. I generally hope cryptocurrency makes them irrelevant, says Mrs. Banks. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. This is another what do you call it? This is nerd cope. This is what I hear from all the nerds. Just don't buy their products. Oh my God. Boycott. Everyone boycott them. Get into another. Wow, this is incredible. These beautiful young women, I might have to start rethinking. These beautiful young women are just like the male nerds. They cave and crumble. They're unwilling to voice who's doing it to them. Can't turn on your fellow goddess, can you? And like you said, what the men probably aren't suffering as much because you don't have as much to lose. There's a real, hey ladies, there's a real wage gap between men and women in the porn industry. And the men, they accept it because they realize that the women are the one bringing the money in. So they accept it. So but in any event, what I'm saying is I don't know. I mean, I can have to say I have nothing against these ladies, but it still looks good on them to me. Because I mean, this happens basically to guys everywhere, especially low status guys. To see these higher status women who make all kinds of bucks suffer, and they do themselves in by doing the same things the low status nerds do. Woe is me. Someone come and help us and save us. But we're not going to lift a finger to help ourselves. We're not going to mention who is doing it to us, and why. You know, we can't fight against our fellow women. Like, sorry. I feel sorry for men who are going to suffer. But these women, sorry, girls. I mean, you could turn this around so quick if you just had some integrity. Thank you, everyone.